The United States has resumed weapons shipments to Ukraine, delivering 155mm artillery shells and guided missile systems, 2 U.S. officials told Reuters. The deliveries come after a short pause in arms transfers by the Trump administration that raised concerns in Kyiv and Washington. Diplomatic efforts remain frozen, while Russia escalates its attacks. On July 9, Moscow launched the largest combined missile and drone assault of the war, firing over 740 projectiles at Ukrainian infrastructure. The barrage signals Russia's hardened military posture and fuels fears the war could stretch on for years. The resumed shipment includes 155mm artillery shells and GMLRS or guided multiple launch rocket system missiles, vital to Ukraine's frontline operations. The officials, speaking on condition of anonymity, did not disclose the size of the shipment or confirm if deliveries were complete. The pause, which occurred last week, was reportedly tied to Pentagon concerns over depleted U.S. munitions reserves. The White House has not formally commented on the internal review. President Donald Trump told reporters he was unaware of who had ordered the temporary halt in arms deliveries. He added that the U.S. would continue sending weapons to Ukraine, with an emphasis on defensive systems to counter advancing Russian forces. It is unclear whether the resumed shipment reflects a broader shift in policy or a continuation of prior aid commitments. Ukraine reported over 740 drones and missiles launched by Russia in a single night, the most extensive aerial attack since the war began. Strikes targeted infrastructure across multiple regions. President Volodymyr Zelensky responded by calling for tougher sanctions on Russian revenue sources, especially oil exports. In a statement, Zelensky said he has ordered expanded coordination with the United States to secure urgent deliveries of air defense systems and other military aid. Kiev continues to press Washington for faster and more consistent support amid ongoing attacks. Kremlin spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov, said Wednesday that Russia hopes U.S. President Donald Trump will continue efforts to settle the Ukrainian military campaign diplomatically despite supplying further weapons to Kiev. "We also hope that his team will continue efforts to take the process of Ukrainian settlement to a political and diplomatic stage," Peskov said. Asked about Trump's comments, in which he expressed frustration with Russian President Vladimir Putin and threatened new sanctions, Peskov responded that Russia will treat it quite calmly. In general, Trump has quite a tough style in terms of phrasing he uses, Peskov added. According to Associated Press, he also noted that Russia expects to start discussing the memoranda presented by Moscow and Kiev during the next round of talks. Europe's top human rights court delivered 2 rulings against Russia Wednesday, stating in the first ruling that Russia violated international law during the military conflict in Ukraine. Speaking just before the ruling, Peskov said that Russia will not abide by the ruling, adding that it considers it void. Any decision by the European Court of Human Rights will be largely symbolic. The complaints were brought before the court's governing body expelled Moscow in 2022.
Вы знаете, мы достаточно спокойно к этому относимся. У Трампа в целом достаточно жесткая стилистика о том, какие фразы он использует и так далее. Мы рассчитываем продолжать наш диалог с Вашингтоном и нашу линию на починку изрядно поломанных двусторонних отношений. Мы рассчитываем также, что несмотря на все решения о возобновлении поставок вооружений и так далее, хотя никто там в реальности ничего и не прекращал, никакие поставки. Даже несмотря на это, все-таки мы рассчитываем на то, что Трамп и его команда продолжат усилия по выводу процесса украинского урегулирования в политико-дипломатическую плоскость. Мы ожидаем, что все-таки третий состоится и что диалог будет продолжен. Нам еще нужно начать обсуждение все-таки тех меморандумов, которыми мы обменялись. Это тоже будет очень сложный процесс, и процесс, который будет проходить не в течение одной ночи или одного дня. Не собирается выполнять, считаем их ничтожными.
President Donald Trump said Monday the U.S. will have to send more weapons to Ukraine, just days after ordering a pause in critical weapons deliveries to Kiev. According to Associated Press, the comments by Trump appeared to be an abrupt change in posture after the Pentagon announced last week that it would hold back delivering to Ukraine some air defense missiles, precision-guided artillery and other weapons because of what U.S. officials said were concerns that stockpiles have declined too much. "We have to," Trump said. "They have to be able to defend themselves. They're getting hit very hard now. We're going to send some more weapons, defensive weapons primarily." The pause had come at a difficult moment for Ukraine, which has faced increasing, and more complex, air barrages from Russia during the more than 3-year-long war. Russian attacks on Ukraine killed at least 11 civilians and injured more than 80 others, including 7 children, officials said Monday. The move last week to abruptly pause shipments of Patriot missiles, precision-guided GMLRS, Hellfire missiles and howitzer rounds and weaponry took Ukrainian officials and other allies by surprise. The Pentagon affirmed late Monday that at Trump's direction, it would resume weapons shipments to Ukraine to ensure the Ukrainians can defend themselves while we work to secure a lasting peace and ensure the killing stops. Still, spokesman Sean Parnell added that its framework for Trump to evaluate military shipments worldwide continues as part of America First defense priorities.
We're trying to help out with a Biden-created monster, this whole thing that's happening with Russia and Ukraine. It's a horrible thing, and I'm not happy with President Putin at all. But this is something that would have never happened if I were president. This was a war that was never going to happen. And if I can stop a war, because I have an ability to do so, I'm disappointed, frankly, that President Putin hasn't stopped. I'm not happy about it either.
Mr. President, are you planning to send more weapons to Ukraine?
We're going to send some more weapons. We have to. They have to be able to defend themselves. They're getting hit very hard now. They're getting hit very hard. We're going to have to send more weapons. Yeah, defensive weapons primarily, but they're getting hit very, very.
The Russian occupiers have already lost 100 heavy flamethrower systems since the start of the large-scale invasion of Ukraine. This was reported by the General Staff of Ukraine. So, this list includes the well-known TOS-1 Buratino, TOS-1A Solntsepek systems, as well as the newer TOS-2 Tasachka on a wheeled chassis. What heavy flamethrower systems do the Russian invaders have? These are Buratino TOS-, the first version, Solntsepek TOS-1A modernized, Tasachka TOS-2 on a wheeled chassis, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine explained. TOS Solntsepek is a Russian heavy flamethrower multiple launch rocket system of 220 mm caliber, adopted into service in 2001. The complex includes a combat vehicle with a launcher based on a tank, 2 transport and loading vehicles, unguided rockets. The system is designed to destroy enemy manpower, fortifications and light equipment with thermobaric charges. TOS-1 Buratino is a Soviet heavy flamethrower multiple launch rocket system of 220 mm caliber on the chassis of the T-72 tank. Armed with 30 unguided thermobaric rockets, it is designed to destroy enemy personnel, equipment and fortifications at a distance of up to 3.5 kilometers. First used in Afghanistan, then in Chechnya, Syria and Ukraine. Due to its extreme destructiveness and the area of destruction, the use of the Buratino may constitute a violation of humanitarian law. Russia boasted back in 2023 that it had begun using its modernized TOS-2 Tasachka on the battlefield, and a Ukrainian drone first recorded this vehicle on the battlefield a year ago. TOS-2 Tasachka is a further development of heavy flamethrower systems of the TOS type, which the Russian Federation uses on the battlefield in Ukraine, TOS-1 Buratino/TOS-1A Solntsepek. Moreover, the TOS-2 Tasachka system was first demonstrated in Russia at the Kavkaz exercises in 2020. Also, in 2024, for propaganda purposes, a public demonstration of the new flamethrower system on a Caterpillar track TOS-3 Dragon was held, the development of which is being carried out by Omsk Transmash. The further fate of this TOS is unknown. The Ukrainian Armed Forces Unmanned Systems Forces have released a video of the destruction of some of these combat vehicles.